Hi, I remembered to that I was supposed to talk a little bit about tips for writing. So I want to add here that I think the most important thing you can do when you are beginning to write academic stuff is to try and keep your language as simple and clear and straightforward as possible. When people first start writing academic stuff, they tend to write very long sentences with a lot of terms in them that are undefined. And it's important to start thinking about how clear this is to the person on the receiving end. One of the things to do here, and they wanted me to give you some simple tips. Okay, so I think one of the things to do is to think about verbs. We don't think about verbs in academic writing very often. But if you say, this author stated, this author said, this author wrote, okay, that'll perfectly fine sentences, but you will be using those words over and over again. So here are some verbs that are sort of more exciting, right? Illustrates, highlights, elevates. This author describes, this author delineates, this author theorizes, this author has completed research. So you want to use verbs besides said and reported and stated. They give your work more life, actually. F. Scott Fitzgerald once said something that I think is very important. He said, all fine writing hangs on the verb. And we don't pay any attention to it in a academic setting. So I recommend that you take a look at what you can do about your verbs to make them more interesting. Secondly, I don't like to see a sentence go over 3 typed lines. That's about 30 words. There is a compendium online called Fussy Professor Starbuck's Guide to Academic Writing. And what he does in there is say that no sentence should be over 25 words long. Remember when you used to have all those contests? You could write a jingle or you could write a tagline for a commercial. It was supposed to be 25 words or less. And when you can write a short, clear, straightforward sentence of 3 lines, which is 30 words, so it's more generous than Fussy Professor Starbuck. If you can write a 30-word sentence that is really clear and contains no more than 3 prepositional phrases, you will be in Fat City in terms of academic writing. What I find is that people use a lot of prepositional phrases because they're trying really hard to make you know that they got this information from expert sources. So when you go through your writing and you are trying to make it more concise and more clear, usually you can start by looking at the number of prepositional phrases in your work and the verbs and the number of words in the sentence. So I would start right there. If you could start with those 3 things, looking at the verbs that you use, the length of the sentences, and the number of prepositional phrases, and the prize here goes to someone who wrote 13 prepositional phrases in the same sentence. If you can get down to 3, that will help your reader a tremendous amount. So to begin with, start with those things in mind. And there's also, of course, a series of they were like 8-minute videos that I made on various topics in writing, from outlining and taking notes all the way to the finished product. So they are online at Fielding in the library, and I'm sure you can get somebody to find them for you if you can't find them, but they're under faculty videos. I hope this was helpful to you, and I think it's very exciting that we're doing these live things. I hope they work someday and that I see you again on a live page soon.